with noble lords as the bill goes forward.
I rise to speak to Amendment 205 in my name, but like other noble lords, I'll speak about the group in general, as a whole. After the contributions so far, not least from the noble Lord, Lord Allen of Hallam, and the noble Baroness, Lady Bennet of Manor Castle, there isn't, excuse me, there isn't a great deal left for me to add, but I will say that I think we have to understand that privacy is contextual. I mean, at one extreme, of course, the remarks I make in your Lordship's house I know are going to be carefully preserved and cherished for several centuries, if not millennia. People will be able to see what I have been saying to you today. But if I'm sitting in my sitting room having a private conversation, I expect that not to be heard by somebody, although at the same time I'm dimly aware that there might be somebody on the other side of the wall who can hear what I'm saying. And similarly, I'm aware that if I use the telephone, it is possible that somebody is listening to that call, somebody who has been duly authorised to listen to that call by reference to our tribunal, having taken all the steps necessary, lawfully, in order to listen to that call, because there are reasons that have persuaded a competent authority that the police service or whatever listening to my telephone call has a reason to do so, and it's to avoid public harm or to meet some other objective which is justified and which we've agreed on through legislation. Where we're going here, however, is into a sphere of encryption where one assumes privacy and one feels one is entitled to some privacy, but it is possible that the regulator could at any moment step in and demand records from the past, records up to that point, without the intervention of a tribunal, as far as I can see, without having made any reference for a warrant that would, or having had to explain to anybody why they feel entitled to do that, what their basis is for doing that. They'd be able to step in and do it. And in order for them to be able to do it, and this is, of course, the point made by the noble Baroness Lady Bennet of Manor Castle, unlike the telephone conversation, where it doesn't have to be everyone everywhere all the time, it's just me and the person I'm talking to that they're listening to, unlike that situation, in this case, the provider has to have the capacity to go back and get all those records out and be able to show Ofcom what it is Ofcom is looking for. And to do that requires them to change their encryption model fundamentally. And so really it is not possible to get away from everything, everywhere, all the time, because the model has to be changed in order to do it. And that's why I think this is such an astonishing thing for the government to insert in this bill. I can entirely understand why it is that the security services and so forth want this power, and I can understand they wanted it long before we've considered an online. This is a vehicle for them to achieve something that they have been trying to achieve for a long time. But there is very strong public resistance to it, and it's entirely understood. And to do it in this basis, completely at odds with the way in which we felt it appropriate to authorise listening in on private conversations in the past, that is, specific conversations with the authority of a tribunal, to do it this way is a very, very radical change, and one that really needs to be considered almost apart from this bill and not slipped in as a mere clause and administrative adjunct to it.
My Lords, I think there's been some excellent